Alright y'all, check out what we picked up today. Traded a little four-wheeler for this guy. So apparently this bike was running yesterday. I have another bottom end for it. The other bottom end had the rod go through the case. So this has a whole fresh bottom end. Supposedly a fresh top end, but you know how that goes. So we're gonna break into it and see what the damage is. Alright, so we got all the oil drained. It's gonna be really hard for y'all to see, but there is no metal flakes or anything in it. This is all the oil that was in there. Whenever I got to the bike, there was oil all over the ground. So obviously it was leaking oil everywhere. So yeah, let's drain this coolant. See if it even has coolant, and then we'll go from there. So it does have coolant, but that's water. So that means the head gasket's fine and the water pump's fine. If we look down here, we have a Boyson water pump. Hopefully the propeller is Boyson also. We have this nice Boyson cover too. But anyways, I'm going to drain this, take the radiators off, and then we'll pop this cap off. So you'll see me next time that I have this off. All right, we got the seat and the tank off. So if your air filter looks like this, guys, please, for the love of God, replace it for your valve sakes. And if there's no oil on your filter, you're not really doing your bike any justice. So next we're gonna get probably these radiators off, and then we're gonna pop off this cap, see how the valves look. The guy said it jumped time. It feels like the piston is hitting the valves whenever I turn it over. So we'll see. All right, so we got the cams out. Here is the guides. They look really, really good. There's the other one, and then the cams look just as good. So our issue is not going to be in the cams. So let's keep digging. All right, well, we are back. We got the head off, as you can see, and we dropped the valve. I wasn't expecting that. I'm about to move that piston down and see how the cylinder looks, and I'll decide if I'm going to dump some money in this thing or not. All right, we got the cylinder head off. As you can see, this thing is in pretty good condition. There's only one little nick on it. There's a few right there, but you can't feel those with your fingernail. And then there is that nick right there. You can slightly feel it with your fingernail. We're gonna see if we can get that out with the hone. Here is the piston. So this was obviously a brand new piston. Do have a little bit of damage up top there, but the crank is still fine. We dropped one valve, which is this guy right here. The lip where the valve seats is not damaged, so the head is still good. Next, we're going to remove this timing chain. So let's get this cover off. Take all these bolts off here. Probably take off the shift shaft. It's going to be a pain because we have all this gasket maker here, but we'll see what we have to do to get it off. Alright, got all bolts out. Let's see if we can get this cover off. Hey, we got some movement. Just a little bit. Alright, we got something here. Alright. Oh, very clean. Alright. Okay. Oh no. What are you from? You have an S on you. See that? Oh no. Alright, well, let me look around a little bit. Let me see if I can find where that came from. That's not good looking though. Alright, if we want to remove the flywheel correctly, then we need to remove this clutch cover. So we're going to remove this whole case, the entire thing, this whole assembly. So we'll remove this brake lever, the kickstarter, water pump. We won't remove the whole assembly, just the bolts to hold the case on. And then this 12mm right here, remove it. Don't think we need to remove him, but we'll see what else gets in the way. But we're gonna have this off. Let's come back. All right, Kickstarter time. Oh yeah, we just love to see it. What do we miss? Got a little oil line right here. Oh, loose. Hey there. So I was just taking off the oil cover. You see that? Yeah. This bike was running and there's no oil filter. Come on. What we got here? OEM? Not OEM? I don't know. Let's find out. It's all stripped out, as it should be for a bike of this stature. But let's find out if this is OEM. It's like pulling teeth just to get these damn covers off. Alright, what we got? We're stuck. Why wouldn't we be? Doesn't that just look beautiful? No clutch material. Clutch plates are not insanely burnt. No grooves in the basket. That's what I'm talking about. Alright. Let's put our tool somewhere in here. Alright, it's all locked up. Let's get this bolt off. She gone. Alright, now we need a flywheel puller. Get that guy off too. Okay. It's gone. Doesn't look too bad. I got an extra one if we need it. But just a little bit of metal flakes up in there. Nothing too worrisome. Nothing on this guy right here. So, looking pretty good so far. I'm gonna get this plate off so we can replace this timing chain and we'll go from there. Alright, so we're getting the new exhaust valve seals installed. Already got the old exhaust out of there and the two new kibble white seals installed. Next we're gonna do the intake. We got the intake valve seals installed and we have the exhaust valve seals installed. Alright y'all, it's time for the fun part. We're going to go ahead and get these valves installed. We already have all the new kibble white seals installed. Next we're going to be putting in these intake valves and these exhaust valves. So let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to get this valve spring compressed so we can get the keepers in there. This is going to be a painstaking process, but we'll get there. This one's actually going decently well. Alright, should be far enough to where we can get these keepers in here. Alright, so I'll take one of these and I use a magnetizer and I magnetize this so these keepers stick to it just like that. So then whenever I go lay it in there, sometimes it stays, sometimes it doesn't. There we go, that one's in. Alright, now we're going to rotate this just a little bit. Try to make it to where that other side opens up. That might just be enough. I'll try to get this other keeper in there. too. Now, when you're backing this off, you gotta be real careful because these will absolutely fly out across the room. So I like to just keep my finger in here. I'm slowly backing off. So then if they do decide to fly out, just hit your finger. And then just periodically check, make sure that they're seating properly. Kind of give it a wiggle. You'll see them kind of drop into place a little bit more. Which it looks like they're doing exactly what we need them to do. Yep. So this one's good. I'm starting to speed up. Now that I see them set, we are good to just completely come all the way off. If one of them looks higher than the other ones, you want to stop and then go back down, because that means it didn't seat properly. You want them to be below the actual valve itself. So then they're valve. So you want them to be below this valve right here. They seat into that groove right there. Alright, so these springs right here, these are directional. The top is painted. So the top, this is the top. The part that's painted is the top. You can see how the coil is stronger on the bottom. So this painted part always goes up top. Just drop the spring in there. Drop the retainer in there. And then you drop the retaining clips in there once you compress the valve. And one thing, while you're trying to put in valves, you'll notice that if I tap this valve right here, it moves down, and that's going to happen while you're trying to put these retainers in there. So you just take a rag, and you just put the rag where the valves are, and then set the head back down, and then that will make it to where the valve is pushing up. So then you don't have the valve fighting you while you're trying to put those clips on there. Alright, so we got the exhaust valves installed. Next is going to be the intake. So we'll be back once all of those installed, and then we're going to pressure test it to make sure it's not leaking past the valves, and we'll go from there. Alright, so we're going to pressure test this head. What I do is I just slowly put carb cleaner on here until it builds up. Try not to spray it everywhere. And then if the carb cleaner starts disappearing, you know that you got some issues somewhere. The only issue with using carb cleaner is it dries with air. So that right there looks about to be a pass to me. But to verify, what you do is you look in here in this hole. If you see any wet, you know you're leaking. So I'm gonna drop some water in here now. We're gonna use water to pressure test it. And do not use a new spark plug for this. You will foul out the plug. Seeing that water move. And if we look in here, I don't see any water droplets in this valve or in that valve. So we'll look in the other side. Carefully just turn this. Let's look in this side now. And I don't think we have any leaks. So this head is passing the pressure test. This head dropped a valve, chewed up right here, and it's still passing the pressure test. So sometimes you get lucky like that, and then sometimes you don't. Okay, well, I know this is a drastic difference from where we last left off, but I dropped a copper washer into the engine, and then that ended up me just deciding to split the cases. I'm pretty sure I have a clip of all the metal. Yeah. And yeah, that was in the, I don't know what you would call this. I guess this is the metal catch area, because this is just where the oil filters through, but it's smart because then all the metal gets catched down here. But in doing that, I inspected all of the transmission bearings. These are the 4 transmission bearings that we're going to replace. So starting with the output shaft bearing is completely seized up. And then we have the clutch shaft bearing, which is not seized up, but it does have ribs in it. You can feel it catching. And then we have, I don't really know what you would call this right here, but it's one of the transmission bearings that goes right there. This guy's not in too terrible of shape, but you can also feel some of the ribs on it whenever you are spinning. And by ribs, I mean whenever you spin the bearing, you can feel it kind of catch in certain spots. So next we have this bearing right here. This one's not bad, it still spins very smoothly, but I can feel it catching, which is not good. Crank bearings are in great condition, so we're going to leave those alone. This bearing's good. This one's also good. This one I'm going to replace too, because it makes too much noise whenever I'm spinning it, even after being lubed up. Not ideal. Next we have the carburetor. I went ahead and replaced all the mid-body gaskets, so it has all brand new mid-body gaskets. And then upon doing that, the slide up here was catching. It wouldn't slam down like that at all, so I got that fixed up. Next, the throttle position sensor. I was inspecting it, and as you can see, that wire right there is completely cut in half, and the blue one is also cut, so that is no good. We have another one of those on the way. And then the handlebars was completely broken, so that would have catched, your hand would have gripped the metal part of the handlebar when trying to twist it over, and it was slow to move and everything. So we got that ordered up. And then I have every single, all right, well, we got the slide hammer out, we got the clutch bearing out. We're gonna have to get that guy out, that one right there, and that one right there, because those are all locking up. So would have never figured this out if I didn't drop that copper washer into the bottom of the engine. Saw that all those metal flakes were in there. Or this would have never happened if I didn't drop that copper washer in there. And then I also saw all the metal flakes in there, in this side and in this side, that needed to come out anyways. But the transmission spun over smooth and the crank spun over smooth. So man, I was just thinking it didn't even need it. But sometimes whenever you buy a used engine, you don't know the history of it, so things like that are in it and you just have no idea. But it's a good thing that we did this. So we're going to get those bearings ordered, and in the next video I'm going to be putting everything back together, and it should be running in that video, so stay tuned for part 2.